It is an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball here in the Motor City. The Tigers will step away from interleague play for just one night. It's makeup time from a rainout back in mid-May. The Tigers and the Blue Jays tonight in this one-game series here at Comerica. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us tonight as the Tigers face the Jays. Rod Allen will join us in a moment. The Tigers are back in first place by a game, largely due to their consistency that they've shown offensively. Now, Jim Leland would like to see that same consistency with his pitching staff. Now, aside from Justin Verlander, really nobody has been as consistent as JV. But when you look at Max Scherzer, despite a bumpy outing his last time out, he can win his 10th game of the season tonight. And if he does so, he will tie these major leaguers, Verlander, Sabathia, Halladay, and Jurgens, all with 10 victories. Max Scherzer is going for number 10 here tonight. It's a gorgeous night for baseball. Glad to have you with us. The Tigers and Jays just minutes away. In the meantime, we go back to the Coliseum Studios now. Here's Ryan Field. Here, the Toronto Blue Jays in town to wrap up a series that was supposed to wrap up in mid-May, but because of rain, they'll play the makeup game tonight. And if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Jays manager John Farrell has turned in his lineup card here this evening, and again, these two teams will play just this one game here. The lineup for the Blue Jays presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, and for the Jays tonight, it'll be Yunel Escobar leading it off. Eric Thames is in left. Jose Bautista is in right field. 11-game streak against Detroit. Adam Lind at first base. Aaron Hill is at second base. Corey Patterson, the DH, and their bottom three is Molina, Nix, and Rajai Davis. Tigers getting ready to take the field. They are led by Max Scherzer running out to the field, and the scouting report on Max tonight is presented by Ace Hardware this evening, and Max trying to rebound after a bumpy outing his last time out.
And the way that he will be able to rebound from that bumpy start he had against the Los Angeles Dodgers, he has to make some adjustments very early in the game, and that's if they're looking for fastballs, and he simply has to go to some of the off-speed pitches. And the Blue Jays have quite a few dominant right-handed hitters that love to pull the baseball, which means Max will need to work away from those right-handers. And the one thing he has been getting this year is lots of run support. The Tigers offensively average over 7 runs for Maxwell when he's on the mound. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Health System. Dirks is in center field. Austin Jackson is not starting in this game tonight. Neither is Inge. Kelly is at third. Peralta, Rayburn, Cabrera, the remainder of the infield, with the all-star candidate behind the dish in Alex Avila.
So Jackson getting the day off, and that means Dirks is out there in center field. The rookie getting a shot to play center and lead off tonight for Detroit as we scope out the season numbers on Tigers right-hander Max Scherzer.
And Dirks said that center field is his natural position. However, he has not been able to play there that much this year because Jackson mans that position every single night. But the one thing that Max can do a little bit better, and that's get the earned run average down a little bit. His stuff and his skill set is much better than a guy that has an earned run average over 4.5.
And the Tigers facing a Toronto team that comes in at 39-39. Jays are at 500. The Tigers at 42-36. And a full game lead on the Indians in the American League Central. Meanwhile, the East has the Yankees a half game up on Boston. The Blue Jays still kind of hanging around. They're 7 back.
500 will not get it done in that division.
And so we are ready for baseball tonight as Yunel Escobar leads it off. A 6 o'clock start here this evening at the ballpark, so it's kind of odd to see all the sunshine on the field.
And Jim Leland said he needs some of his other starters to step up and start to pitch the way that they are capable of pitching. They're not going to pitch like Verlander, but he wants guys to go out there and pitch a little bit better than they have pitched.
And maybe we'll see that starting tonight as Escobar takes strike one. Escobar, then Thames and Bautista here in the first inning for Toronto. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Good pitch. Early slide piece tonight from Scherzer. Blue Jays have a very good fastball hitting team. I mean, they don't miss fastballs that are in the strike zone.
High, ball 1. 1-2 on Yunel Escobar, batting .277. Scherzer working quickly. The 1-2 pitch. Checked it inside. 2-2. .27 RBIs this year for Escobar. He has power. He's hit 8 home runs. They got him from the Atlanta Braves. And the 2-2. Fouled it off. So Escobar is still alive. Thames and then Bautista here in the first inning for Toronto, who are wrapping up an 11-game trip. And of course the Tigers at least were home for this makeup game in the middle of a long homestand. But for the Blue Jays, they've got to be wearing down a little bit.
And living out of their suitcases for the last 2 weeks.
Blocked by Avila. Now it's 3-2 on Escobar.
That's why Avila has that right hand in front of his body, even though there's not a base runner on base. For pitches just like that, if the ball does bounce, and he doesn't really have to pull the right arm from behind the back to help block the baseball.
And he got him. Strike 3. Escobar was headed to first base, and he's got some choice words now for Alfonso Marquez. Borderline, but certainly, I guess, too close to take with 2 strikes. And Marquez rings him up. 1 away, and here is Eric Thames. Batting .298. He fouls that one back 0-1. Thames is in his second stint now with the big club here in Toronto. Hasn't homered yet at the big league level, but he had really good numbers down in Las Vegas, their AAA team, where he was batting .352. No balls and 2 strikes. Thames showed some power in Las Vegas, although that is a very hitter-friendly ballpark. 7 home runs. He knocked in 45. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Scherzer has a couple of strikeouts. So 2 up, 2 down for Toronto. And now Jose Bautista. And I guess in some ways proving that last year when he hit 54 home runs that it was no fluke.
Somehow, some way, Mark Teixeira has caught Bautista for the home run lead in the American League. They share that at 23 big flies.
And he looks at strike 1.
That's exactly where you have to pitch Bautista, although he is going to right field a little bit more this year. Most of his damage is done to left field.
Waving a miss, 0-2.
Outstanding changeup there by Max Scherzer, and it looks like he's mixing in all of his pitches very early in this ball game tonight.
And the 0-2 pitch, way outside. Bautista is 30 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, and really up until last year had never approached the numbers that he put up in a career season with the Blue Jays. Knocked in 124. And he got him, strike 3. Scherzer, how about that start? He strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Jays. He struck out the side in the top of the first inning. Here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the first, and their lineup is presented tonight by a big boy. Andy Dirks leads it off. He's in center field. Don Kelly at third base. Brennan Bosch is in left. Cabrera is cleaning up. Then Martinez. Ordonez tonight is batting 6th, and then Peralta, Avila, and Rayburn. The Tigers batting .297 in the month of June. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Zach Stewart. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Stewart making only his 3rd major league start. For the most part, he features sinkers, sliders, and changeups, and they want him to get back to that sinker ball after lasting only 3 2/3 innings his last start against Atlanta. He was pitching to their strengths and not his own, so they want him to get back to the basics here tonight.
He is only 24 years old, out of Wichita Falls, Texas. The 0-1 pitch.
At the trade deadline in 2009, when Scott Rowland left the Cincinnati Reds and went to Toronto, excuse me, the other way around, it was Stewart that left Cincinnati, and he was the main guy in that deal, that Rowland deal.
Goes 6-2, 205. He'll be followed, Dirks will be, by Kelly and Bosch here in the first inning, and that's rolled to second base. Easy play there for Hill.
Let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays defensively. It's presented by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, you've got Thames, you've got Davis, you've got Bautista. He has the majority of those outfield assists. 8 of the 17 go to Jose. And Jose Molina is the catcher tonight for Zach Stewart.
So Don Kelly gets the call here tonight, playing third base, batting second. And arguably it was Kelly that had the biggest at bat of that game yesterday, a pinch hit single in the 8th inning, which started that huge rally for Detroit. His average at 266. And he drives this one in the air to right field, hit well. Bautista going back. He'll get to the warning track and make the catch. Kelly put a charge into that one, but it's out number 2. And that'll bring up Brendan Bosch. Bosch back in the 3 slot, batting .299. He has yet to pick up a hit this year against Blue Jays pitching. 10 home runs on the year for Bosch. Showed you that number then in the month of June. The Tigers as a team are batting .297. Bosch is one of the guys that has really hit well this month. .385. Had a good April, tailed off in May, and then really picked it up here in the month of June, which is rapidly winding down. In fact, 6 of his 10 home runs have come here in June. 2-0 is rolled foul, first base side. 2-1 on Brennan. Tigers have this one here against Toronto. The Blue Jays will then go home, and they will resume interleague play, as will the Tigers. The Blue Jays have Pittsburgh and Philly coming up, and the Tigers will have the Mets and the Giants. 3-1 on Brennan. And that's going to do it for interleague play, right?
It is. Went by quick this year.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Grounded to second base. Aaron Hill has it there, and Bosch is out. Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the second tonight at Comerica. No score. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's. Stop by today and try the new Shroom and Swiss sandwich. Arby's, it's good mood food. So we're still scoreless now as we go to the top of the second here at Comerica Park. And Scherzer, after striking out the side in the first, will face Lind Hill And then Corey Patterson. First pitch from Max is inside. 1 ball and no strikes on Adam Lind. Swinging the bat pretty well right now. .314 with 15 home runs. And he's knocked in 48. Bouncing ball right side. Rayburn has it there. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the first inning for Max Scherzer. He struck out the side. He got Escobar. It was a fastball. It was borderline, but it was called strike 3 by Mr. Marquez, the home plate umpire. Then he went to the off-speed pitch and followed it up with another good firm fastball to strike out Bautista, one of the more dangerous right-handed hitters in the game today.
So 4 up, 4 down now against Max with the ground out by Lind. Here is Aaron Hill. And he looks at strike 1. Scherzer threw just 14 pitches in that first inning. The 0-1 pitch.
Aaron Hill, like so many of these Toronto Blue Jays right-handed hitters, they are dead pull. Their right field is somewhat foreign to them. And if they do go that way, it's usually just a single. Not a lot of extra base power in that direction for the right-handed hitters in the Blue Jays lineup.
Tigers and Jays have met 5 times this year. Detroit winning 3 of those, including 3 out of 4 in Toronto.
That's kind of when their season turned around in Toronto.
There's a strike. Yeah, I'd agree.
Verlander threw that no-hitter. I think they ran off 10 of 11 after the Verlander no-hitter.
Verlander's next start will be Thursday against New York. There's a drive to left field and a base hit.
Hey fans, this July baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona deserts for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station.
And the hope is Alex Avila will be there. He certainly deserves it when you stack up his numbers against the rest of the catchers in the American League. Corey Patterson will bat.
Do you think there's any question he makes the All-Star team?
Oh, no, he'll be there. I'm just saying it'd be nice for him to start.
Right.
And Russell Martin, at last check, I think had a pretty decent lead.
He does. He does. It'll be tough for Addis to catch him, although Tiger fans are doing their best to start the Vila voting campaign.
Here's the 1-0. Driven down the right field line. That's a foul ball, and not by much. Patterson almost drove in a run.
Left-handers love that pitch down and in. Not too many left-handers in the game of baseball that do not like this pitch. And really the reason why, all you do is you just drop the bat head in the strike zone. You just drop the bat. You don't need a whole lot of movement to get to that pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike on Corey Patterson. 263 hitter, the well-traveled Corey Patterson.
Aaron Hill, he will run. He has 9 steals. He hasn't been caught yet.
Bouncing ball right side. Rayburn will take the out at first. Advance the runner. 2 gone. So with the man in scoring position, Jose Molina will step in for Toronto. The current voting right now, Russell Martin 2.2 million votes and Alex Avila 1.7 million votes. They will be updated this week.
When does it end? On Sunday? The teams are announced?
Yes, on Sunday. There's a strike. Oh, and 1 on Molina, batting .310. Trying to keep those Yankees out of the All-Star game. It's just real difficult. They garner a lot of votes every year. Wave and a miss. 0-2.
They will be well represented. Teixeira, Granderson, Martin, A-Rod, Sabathia, Rivera. They will be everywhere.
Anybody else?
They'll be everywhere.
Here's the 0-2. See you later. Another strikeout for Scherzer. That's his fourth already in the game. They strand a man. We go to the bottom of the second. Second here at the ballpark. Tigers and Jays in a makeup game. And of course, this is a departure from interleague play. We'll get back to that beginning tomorrow. But the Indians so far 0-3 on their 9-game road trip through San Francisco, Arizona, and Cincinnati. So the Tigers here, Rod, apparently have a pretty good chance here to maybe distance themselves.
Well, you knew it was going to be tough on the Indians. They have to play 9 consecutive games in National League cities, which meant their best hitter, Travis Hafner, would not be available. Of course, Asdrubal Cabrera, also a very good hitter on that team, but they're a much better team when Hafner in. So they're struggling out west, and they haven't really played all that well on the road this year anyway.
Here come the Tigers in the second. And Miguel swings and misses 0-1. Cabrera, then Martinez, and then Ordonez.
The Tigers have a couple of hitters here in Cabrera and Martinez that are different from most power hitters, guys that have legitimate power. And what I mean by that is they don't have many holes. I mean, these guys are hitting .330 and above, yet they hit for power and they drive in runs, and they very seldom strike out.
The 1-1. Well, Cabrera at .330, Martinez at .333, which, by the way, is second best in the American League.
Most power hitters have 1 or 2 holes in their swings. These guys don't.
Whoa, look at that rocket to center. So Cabrera leads it off with a base hit.
If you're Stewart, you have to stay out of a 2-1 count to Cabrera if you're going to try to throw him a sinker ball at the bottom of the strike zone. And Cabrera didn't try to pull that ball. He simply tried to go right back through the center of the diamond, which he was successful in doing so.
Now Victor Martinez. Victor has hit safely in his last 5 straight. Martinez was 4 for 11 in that series against the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, this game is featuring 3 of the top 4 hitters in the American League. Behind Gonzalez, you've got Martinez, Cabrera, Bautista.
Agon is going off at .361.
He's got to be the leading candidate right now for MVP, although there's such a long way before we decide that.
A lot of first basemen on that list. Konerko was on that list. Cabby on that list. Gonzalez on that list.
One ball, one strike on Victor Martinez.
Where's Ichiro? He's usually on that list.
He usually is.
He might be by the time September rolls around.
Knocking on 200 hits again. That is popped up, foul ground, and it will find the seats. 1-2.
What a spectacular weekend it was here at Comerica Park. The Diamondbacks in town Saturday and Sunday. Sellout crowds. Sparky Anderson's ceremony yesterday. Spectacular weekend.
You know what yesterday was? Yesterday was one of those days that you might remember for a long, long time as being very special here, with not only Sparky's number being retired, but also the way the Tigers came back and won that game late.
I had a buddy call me from out west, and he was just commenting on how fun it looked at the ballpark the last couple days. And that was exactly the word he used, fun.
And it was a packed house. Last couple of days, a packed house, a couple of sellouts or close to it. And Comerica is a very special spot to be in the middle of the summer. In fact, the Tigers drew better than 121,000 for that series. Gibby and Tram coming back helped out as well. Driven to left center field. That looks like trouble. It is. It's going to split the gap and go to the wall. This should get a run in. Cabrera rounding third. They'll send him home, and he scores. It's a double and an RBI for the red-hot Victor Martinez.
There's absolutely no panic whatsoever with Victor Martinez when standing in the batter's box, and he is definitely not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Stewart tried to sneak a little backdoor breaking ball in the outside corner there to Victor. He stayed with it, and he found that seam in left center field to drive in the big fella.
45th RBI of the year for Martinez. And now Ordonez steps in. Back-to-back hits for Detroit, producing a run.
Ordonez will be trying to get a base hit to right field, which would drive Victor home. But if it hits it on the ground, he'll at least get him to third.
Pulled foul, 1-1. Maglio 3 for 10 in the series against Arizona. Zach Stewart had him 1-2-3 in the first, but he has trouble here in the second. Right back up the middle, and a leaping catch, and they'll get a double play on this. Oh my goodness, what a play by Aaron Hill. I don't think he could stretch out an inch more than he did.
It's a good play by Hill, but if you're Victor Martinez with nobody out and on second base, there's nowhere for you to go. You have to know where the second baseman is playing, and if there's a chance he'll catch it, if there's a chance he'll get to it, then you need to be getting back to second base.
So they're empty now, and that'll bring up Peralta.
A little frustration there by Maglio. Thought he had gotten the job done.
Sure looked like it. 2-0 on Peralta. A fine leaping play by Aaron Hill. Here's the 2-0 to Johnny. There's the strike up with the right hand goes Alfonso Marquez. Well, what a year it is for Peralta. 308 now, and he has had some really good numbers against the Jays this year.
He had multiple hits in every single game the Tigers played north of the border when they were visiting Toronto. Woo! It's kind of when Johnny started heating up too. Well, really the whole team started playing better after that Verlander no-hitter at the beginning of May. They've been the second best team in all of baseball. 600 winning percentage. The only team better, the Boston Red Sox.
Stewart missed, and the count goes 3-2. Stewart last year spent all of the season at Double-A, won 8 games last year, 8-3. Right back up the middle, and it'll get into center field. And Johnny serves one into center.
I don't know where Johnny is going to end up this year, but last year at this same point in time, he only had 5 home runs. He only had driven in 34. But take a look at the damage he's done this year so far. 12 homers, 45 ribbies, and he's pretty much been flawless at the shortstop position. He's only committed 3 errors this year, the fewest for an everyday shortstop in this league.
Well, it's been a whale of a season for Peralta. There's no doubt about that. When you compute his numbers out as he draws a throw and just gets back, you project what he could do this year. He is on pace for 25 homers and over 90 RBIs.
You'll take that out of your number 7 hitter.
Oh, yes, you will. Alex Avila, meanwhile, having a spectacular season as well, batting .303.
And he can't get out of the number 8 spot in Jim Leyland's lineup. I think it's kind of gotten to the point now where Jim is just not really going to move him.
No.
He's going to leave him there.
I think you're right. I think why mess with it? Peralta and Avila have had success at the bottom of the lineup. Bouncing ball left side, base hit. He found a seam and through the infield it goes.
Sweet swinging Avila. This is why he will be at the All-Star game this year. He might not start, but he will be there.
Well, Avila has now given the Tigers their 4th hit in this inning, and well, you take away that leaping play by Hill and this could be a really ugly inning for Stewart.
Tigers really have not been a bad club with hitting with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The guys in the middle of the batting order especially are not afraid of these types of situations. I believe every single run they scored in the 8th inning yesterday was with 2 outs.
Correct. A stunning comeback by the Tigers yesterday. Rayburn rolls it foul. That was the 20th pitch of the inning for Stewart, and he's been helped out by a double play. Ryan batting .199 is 0 for 5 on this homestand. Still trying to get it going and just has not been able to do it. He will show signs. He'll show some flashes. He's hit a grand slam. And the 0-1. One ball and 2 strikes. Base hits by Peralta and Avila, keeping the inning going after the double play. And the 1-2. Ryan cuts and misses. Down he goes, and the side retired. Tigers get a run though, and they leave a pair. And by your neighborhood Spartan stores. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. Well, the Tigers have taken an early lead in this game from Max Scherzer. 1-0 is our score here at the ballpark. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Angus Third Pounder. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338. Or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. And Rod, tonight I will give you first selection on the player of the game.
I'm going to go with Avila tonight.
You going with Avila?
I'm going Avila.
All right, I'll take Cabrera. And neither one of us will take Martinez, who has the RBI.
Nope. I have Avila tonight.
All right. Scherzer, meanwhile, is ready to go to work here in the third inning, and he delivers a strike to Jason Nix. Nix and then Rajai Davis and Yunel Escobar. 1 run on 4 Detroit hits. There's a ball low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nix is batting 173, mired in a 2-for-29 slump.
He's got a little pop in his bat. You don't want to go inside with Nix. That's where he does his damage. If you stay down there and on the outer edges of home plate, you'll get some swings and misses while he's in that batter's box.
One and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nix last year split time between Cleveland and Chicago. He's out of Midland, Texas, which is big football area. And the 2-2. Hit hard to the shortstop. Johnny on the backhand. Nice play.
Johnny just picking and grinning. He grabs and sets his feet. He knows he has quite a bit of time. And the big fellow with a big stretch over at first base.
Here's Rajai Davis, the number 9 hitter. Swinging on the first, fouls it back out of play. These Blue Jays go up swinging the bat, don't they?
Yes, they do. They were a very aggressive team last year. Cito Gaston was their manager, but they still are very aggressive under John Farrell. Rajai Davis, with all his speed, not getting on base all that efficiently for John Farrell, and that's one of the reasons why he's batting 9th and not leading off.
And he pops this one up. Rayburn to the grass. And there are 2 gone. Let's go back to the studio. Time for a game break, and we join Ryan Field. Thanks, Ryan. 1-0 is our score here.
We know Carlos Pena's got a lot of pop. He still has hit one of the longest home runs here at Comerica Park.
I think it's the 2nd longest, if I'm not mistaken.
He was out there by that.
No, it's the first.
Sparky Anderson number.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson number. I mean, he was way back there one day.
I think Pena's won Munson's 2. Ooh, look out. He banged that one off his foot. And Escobar hit the deck. Apparently the padding meant nothing.
And he's got a lot of protection there, right on the protection.
Well, if it hurt that bad with the protection, it would not have been good without it. He is still unable to put all of his force on it. Escobar has the shin covered up. He's got the instep covered up. But he is still hobbled. Yeah, we'll see this happen 2 or 3 times tonight, it seems, and I'm sure you've done it plenty of times in your career, Rod. How long does something like this linger?
It takes a little while for you to walk it off. But the one thing, you very seldom see guys leave games after hitting a ball off their foot. Just takes a little time to get the feeling back in there and to regroup so you can finish your at bat.
No balls, 2 strikes on Yunel Escobar, who struck out. One of 4 strikeouts that Max has rolled up tonight. Here's the 0-2. 1-2 on Escobar. Ball inside, 2-2. Scherzer struck out the side in the first. He got one more. Molina, that was back in the second.
I do like the aggressiveness that Max has pitched so far tonight with his fastball inside. Not afraid to go inside with that heater.
Don Kelly makes the play at third on that ground ball. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Scherzer. 2.5 in the books. Bottom of the third inning, a makeup game from the rainout back on the 17th of May. No rain in sight here tonight. Right now, the Tigers coming to the bat here in the bottom of the third with the top of the lineup. Andy Dirks looks at a ball outside. Don Kelly and then Brennan Bosch. Tigers put up 4 hits in that second inning, but managed just 1 run courtesy of a double play. Zach Stewart, the 24-year-old out of Wichita Falls, Texas, brings home the 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Dirks. Andy bounced out his first time up. And he takes a walk. Leadoff man is on.
Hey fans, don't miss your chance to see the Tigers play the New York Mets tomorrow through Thursday here at Comerica Park. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com. The New York Metropolitans come a-calling.
Metropolitans are playing 500 ball to this point. Here's Don Kelly, who flied out his first time up.
They have one of the most exciting players in the game of baseball in Jose Reyes, if not the most exciting player.
Snap throw in the runner back.
Molino brothers love to throw. There's 3 of them catching in the big leagues.
Yadier is probably the best at that play.
Yes, he is.
Andy Dirks stole a few down in the minor leagues, 10 this year before being called up. One ball, one strike.
It may not be a bad call here by Jim to turn Dirks loose and possibly force Kelly into swinging. And when Stewart's going good, he's getting lots of ground balls, which means he's getting some double plays turned behind him. It's a good combination here, should Jim want to do something like that.
Bouncing ball to second. This is a routine double play ball here. 4-6-3. Second double play they have turned tonight. 2 away, and here's some more on the Mets that'll be coming to town. There's Jose Reyes. He leads the National League with a .341 average.
Carlos Beltran also playing some pretty good baseball for the Mets after going through some injuries the last couple of years. And good for him. Exciting players, Beltran.
Is Reyes going to be a Met at the end of the season?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
With Bosch.
Somebody's going to have to fly down to the Dominican Republic and back that old Brinks truck up to his crib and dump out all the dough.
Bosch 0 for 1 with the bounce out. He grounds another one, this time slowly toward third. They're going to let it roll. It's going to stay fair.
Look out, Brennan.
And Bosch has an infield hit with 2 outs. Those are the kind of hits you get when you're going really good.
Yes, you do. And he's going really good right now. He's been one of the better performers in the American League in the month of June. Lots of hits for Brennan, which means there's lots of smiles.
5 Tigers hits. That'll keep it going now for Cabrera, who lined a single to center field his first time up.
As a matter of fact, both of the players on that graphic, Beltran and Reyes, they might not be with the Mets at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. One 1-0 on Cabrera. Miguel now has hit safely in 5 straight. Make it 2 balls, no strikes.
Dangerous count here for Stewart going up against Cabrera. Now, the last time he fell behind Cabrera, 2 balls, 1 strike in the second inning, and he singled sharply right back up the middle.
Lifted in the air to shallow right. Bautista coming on. It's going to drop. Base hit. And he runs by it. Bosch will get to third, and Cabrera will hold at first base, and the Tigers have another hit.
Sometimes you can make a good pitch, as Stewart did there, and the hitter still get a base hit. He crowded him with a 1-1 fastball up in the zone at 92 miles an hour, and Cabrera fought it off for a base hit in the right field.
Not to brag or anything, but my player of the game selection is now 2 for 2 tonight.
You took him, huh?
I did take Cabrera. And that was a screaming line drive as far as I'm concerned.
It'll look like that in the box score, too.
Here's Martinez. He doubled in a run in the second. 6 Detroit hits in this game. Ball 1 to Martinez. Stewart living on the edge here tonight. He's been helped out by a couple of double plays, 1 in the second and 1 here in the third. Two and 0. Stewart last year formed a pretty good 1-2 punch down at Double-A for the Blue Jays. He was paired down there with Kyle Drabek, who began the year this year in the major leagues, but Drabek was sent down and Stewart was called up.
They're good buddies, too, as you can imagine. And the reason why Stewart started this season in Double-A, they wanted him to go down and work on his breaking ball, which he did, and they feel like it's a much better pitch for him now.
I was looking at Stewart's numbers last year in Double-A, and he had career numbers, but they were always the second best numbers on the staff. And I'm thinking, well, who was better? And then I figured out Drabek was down there with him, and they were outstanding together. 2-1 on Victor Martinez. And it's 3-1. Maglio waiting on deck if Victor keeps it going here. Bosch at third and Cabrera down at first. Strike two called. 3-2 on Martinez. So Cabrera will be off and running on this pitch down at first base, which could make a difference if Martinez finds a gap here and getting that run in. And the 3-2 fouled away. We had only seen Victor from afar, of course, with his years in Cleveland and even in Boston, but I think this guy's the complete package, Rod. When you think about what he can bring to a clubhouse, what he's brought to this team offensively, he can play several different positions.
No doubt. No doubt. Better than advertised.
And in an offseason, which was filled with some signings that just haven't worked out for other clubs, Victor has been just the opposite for the Tigers.
Yeah, David Nabrowski nailed this one. No doubt about that.
Grounded foul right behind Brookins.
He was their top choice. When they went looking for someone to hit behind Cabrera, they knew he could do the job. Jim Leland doesn't have to answer those questions this year about who's going to bat fifth and provide that protection for the big fella. It's been a great sign.
And Martinez has helped the Tigers into first place in the Central.
And Victor had to want to come to Detroit too, because there were other suitors out there for his services.
Grounded foul.
He could have gone to several teams. The White Sox, Baltimore Orioles.
Well, it's an interesting blend in that Tigers clubhouse. You've got guys that have been around a while that have produced a lot at this level. You also have good young players up and coming. But that veteran that you can plug in right behind Cabrera has just been so key for this team.
He has good leadership skills.
Cabrera didn't bite on the bluff. Ground ball off the glove of the pitcher, and it's going to scoot through. A base hit. Bosch will score. Cabrera goes to third base, and the Tigers get a break there. Hill was breaking to his right and couldn't backtrack.
Well, you said it with Brennan Bosch. When you're going good, it just seems like everything works in your favor. The ball was redirected by Stewart, the pitcher. Therefore, Hill couldn't make the play, and Martinez does it again.
Second hit, second RBI in this ball game. 2-0 Detroit. It's going to bring up Maglio.
.333 batting average with 2 strikes this year for Martinez. And the league average is under 200, which kind of puts that number into perspective.
especially since we're just about at the end of the month of June. No small sampling. Ordonez robbed of a base hit on a line drive his first time up. It turned into a double play. And he shoots one in the air toward right field. Bautista coming over, and that is that for Detroit. So they get another run. We go to the fourth, and it's now 2-0. Can you name 5 of the 9 Tigers all-star catchers? Of course, Alex Vila probably headed there this year. I don't think there's any question about that. The Tigers in their history have had 9 all-star catchers. Can you name 5 of them? We're not asking for all 9. We'll take 5. That's good enough. But you can count on the fact that Avila will be there this year. And we go to the 4th inning, and Eric Thames will lead things off against Max Scherzer, who has fanned 4 already. That ball is ripped to Maglio over his head. Up against the wall, on his way to second, Thames, and he is in there standing up with a double. Fifth double of the year for Thames.
Here's what I was talking about regarding Max in our pitching profile today. He might need to make some adjustments now. Apparently they're going to start looking for those first pitch fastballs as Thames did there. So throw a few breaking balls and make sure you keep them off balance as you have done through the first 3 innings of this contest.
That is only the second hit allowed by Scherzer. Here's Bautista. And a strike on the inside part of the plate.
That's really all Bautista's gotten lately, is a steady diet of breaking balls. Opposing pitchers, they just stop throwing him fastballs, and you can understand why. He's had huge power numbers since the beginning of last season.
Well, they are certainly paying him a lot of respect. Only one guy in the American League has more walks than Miguel Cabrera, and you're looking at him. Bautista has 65 this year.
When you combine his on-base percentage and his slugging percentage, it is well over 1,000. Tremendous bat speed.
One and two.
Good firm fastball there at 96 miles an hour by Max.
Bautista hit a ton of home runs early this year. In fact, he hit his 20th home run in just his 44th game of the season, which is the quickest to 20 by any Blue Jay in their history.
Stands right on top of the dish, wiggling that bat over the top of his head. Pretty good numbers for Bautista. Those are major league ranks.
2-2 the count. Scherzer struck out Bautista back in the first inning, caught him looking.
And a lot of the damage that Bautista has done for Toronto this year, he has done without any protection whatsoever, because Lind, who is batting behind him now and is a good hitter, he spent about 3 weeks on the DL.
Well, Ricky Romero came out recently saying that this club needs more than just Bautista and Lind offensively. More guys need to chip in. And he was speaking out of frustration, not getting a lot of run support. And the 2-2 instead. Bautista is given time. Late time by Alfonso Marquez. 54 is the all-time single season high in Blue Jays history. George Bell right behind him. Jose Canseco. Carlos Delgado on that list. He had a ton of them in a Blue Jays uniform. This will get away from Avila. He's got a shot. Here's the throw. Not in time. Thames gets to third. And it's 3-2 on Bautista.
They had nothing Avila could do here. It appeared to be a fastball that he somehow knocked down, but not before Thames sliding in safely to third.
Wild pitch. Three and two. Fought that one off on the ground to short. This will get a run in. Bautista is out. And the Jays are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game. So the wild pitch proving costly. And here is Adam Lind. Lind bounced out back in the second, 0 for 1. A serious drop off in his numbers last year compared to 09. That's going to go foul. In 09 he knocked in over 100 runs, but last year Lind knocked in just 68, so it was a major drop off for him. This year bouncing back a little bit. The number's pretty good when you consider the fact that he's played in only 52 games this year, spending some time on the DL. The 0-1. High towering fly ball right field. Ordonez going back to the track, to the wall. It's going to carry out and gone. Adam Lind has just tied this game with his 16th home run of the year.
A 95-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball to Lind that didn't appear that he really got all that good, but he got underneath it, and the ball just continued to carry and carry until it carried out of here. Nice play by a fan in right who brought his glove to the game.
It carried right into his glove. 2-2 game. Aaron Hill, the batter. We'll knock this one foul back out of play. No balls and 2 strikes on Hill. Single did not score back in the second. Strike called on the outer edge, and Scherzer has another strikeout. Give him 5 for the ball game.
It's a pretty good pitch here by Scherzer. Outstanding pitch by Scherzer. On the black, at the knees, in the mid-90s.
Now Corey Patterson with 2 outs. Lays down a bunt foul. 2 runs on 2 hits for Toronto here in the 4th inning. A double by Thames. And a home run by Lynn. Well, that's pretty good. 13 of 15 in first pitch strikes. Here's the 0-1. Little chopper hit to the shortstop. Charging is Peralta. Got him at first base. And the inning is over. 2 runs in on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Fans, you can be a hero for baby by supporting the March of Dimes with Farmers Insurance now through June 29th. Text HERO to 20222 to make a $5 donation. Or you can visit your local Farmers agent at farmers.com and you can help the babies. Well, we're all tied up. It is suddenly a 2-2 ball game. The Tigers now go back to work offensively. Facing the offerings of Zach Stewart, it'll be Johnny Peralta to start things off. And he drops in a breaking ball strike. 0-1. Peralta, Avila, Rayburn, the bottom 3 in Detroit's lineup. Here's the 0-1. Johnny rolls it foul. 0-2. Tigers coming into this one had won 30 of their last 49 games dating back to early May, which is a .612 winning percentage. They have made up a lot of ground on Cleveland and have overtaken the Indians. The 0-2 lifted back out of play.
Only team that has been better than the Tigers since that date you talked about are the Boston Red Sox. So everything coming together for the Tigers.
Here's the 0-2. Well, I'm starting to think that it's probably in the end going to be a 3-team race. Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago. Minnesota made a bit of a charge, but you know they've got a couple of big injuries now.
Huge injuries. And Joe Mauer not playing like Joe Mauer right now.
There you have it. The top 3 in the Central. KC and Minnie are both 9 back. Stranger things have certainly happened, but top three look to be fighting it out. 1-2 backs him out of there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That'll go foul. Tigers 2 runs, 7 hits tonight, and for the Jays 2 runs on 3 hits. Swing and a miss, and Peralta is out on strikes. The second strikeout for Zach Stewart. That'll bring up Avila, and it also brings us to our AT&T trivia question. Name 5 of the 9 Tigers all-star catchers in their history.
Parrish, Freehand.
Well, here's the entire list. Brad Ausmus, Mickey Tettleton, and Matt Noakes. Those guys were kind of in between Pudge Rodriguez and Lance Parrish, and then you go back to Bertie Tebbetts, Mickey Cochran. So there you have all 9. We only wanted 5, so if you were able to get 5, good for you. Avila is singled back in the second. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Seeing that list kind of brings back memories of just how good Pudge Rodriguez was in a Detroit Tigers uniform.
No doubt about that. Special player. Hall of Fame player.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fouled off. 2-1 on Avila.
I think Pudge Rodriguez is going to stay around long enough to get to 3,000 hits. I believe he's about a couple of hundred shy, which means it'll probably take him another year and a half or 2. But I think he'll get there.
Well, he's certainly in good enough shape to continue to play. I mean, there's probably not a guy out there that works any harder than Pudge to stay in shape. So that in itself should give him a good opportunity. Two and 2 on Alex Avila. He rolls this one to second base. Hill has been busy tonight. 2 gone. Alex now 1 for 2.
All the left-handers continue to roll over that sinker ball thrown by Stewart, and as you mentioned, the beneficiary of all the ground balls has been Hill, the second baseman.
One ball to no strikes to Ryan Rayburn, who struck out back in the second. Waving to miss. 1-1. For the record, Pudge Rodriguez 2,839 hits in his 21 big league season. So yeah, less than 200. He'll get there, I think. Rayburn fouls it off. 1-2. Tigers tonight have hit the Jays 7-3, yet we are tied 2-2 here in the 4th. Two and 2. Stewart this year at Double-A was 4-3 with an ERA a little bit over 4, so his numbers weren't eye-popping down at Double-A this year. That's into center field and caught by Rajay Davis in a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 5th at Comerica. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Motor City Casino Hotel, a million miles away, right down the street. Back here at Comerica Park, where the Tigers and Jays are making up a rainout from mid-May, and so far it is 2-2 as we head to the top of the fifth inning. And for the Blue Jays, it'll be Jose Molina, Jason Nix, and Rajai Davis against right-hander Max Scherzer. Molina struck out his first time up, and he fouls one back 0-1. World Series title under Molina's belt back in 2002 with the Angels. Also played on some good teams in New York with the Yankees.
I went to the World Series that year. I went up to San Francisco to, I believe it was watch game 3.
That was a great series.
Yeah, it was. Dusty Baker, great friend of mine, invited me up to San Francisco and had a great time up there.
Did he get you good tickets?
And he rolled out the red carpet. We ate some really good food after the game.
Nice.
Had a great time.
It's good to have friends in high places.
No doubt.
Swing and a miss, and Molina is out of there very quickly. That's another strikeout for Max, his 6th. That's a beautiful ballpark, too. Great setting up there in Frisco.
Spectacular. From our vantage point upstairs, it is tops for me.
Nix is 0 for 1 with a ground out. There's a strike called on Jason Nix. Ever ask Dusty Baker why he chews on a toothpick?
I haven't asked him that question.
I'd love to hear the story on that. That'll get back out of play 0-2.
I can get that for you. I talk to him quite often.
Ask him the next time.
I will.
I remember a player who used to play with a toothpick for KC. Remember UL Washington?
Yes.
But I don't remember many others who actually played with a toothpick. Here's the 0-2. That's fouled back to the screen.
Dusty wears sweatbands and everything. He's all geared up.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Scherzer racking up the strikeouts tonight. That's 7.
The Blue Jays have the kind of lineup with Scherzer's skill set and the fact that he has an overpowering fastball and a good breaking ball. He should have no problem really getting through their lineup because they have so many right-handed hitters that are dead pull hitters. They don't hit the ball the opposite way, therefore he can strike out a bunch, which he's already done here tonight.
Rajai Davis. He takes ball 1 outside.
And Rajai Davis was the final out of the Verlander no-hitter in May up in Toronto. It was a slider that JV threw to Rajai. And believe it or not, he's pitched 2 or 3 games better since then. Imagine that.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's true. Swing and a miss.
Scherzer's got that real nice breaking ball going today, and I like the fact that it's only around 82 to 84 miles an hour these days. Not throwing it as hard as he used to throw it, which means there's some separation there in between the fastball velocity and the curveball velocity. I mean, you go 95 on one pitch and then you go 84 on a pitch. It's tough to get good swings against a guy like that.
Fly ball, center field. Andy Dirks measures it. And it looks like a 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Scherzer. Tigers baseball tonight is presented by Bell Tire. fifth inning here at the ballpark. Well, we talked about fun at the ballpark, and here's what's coming up over the next few days here at Comerica Park. Military camp for the first 10,000 fans tomorrow. We've got the soft-sided cooler and fireworks coming up on Friday with the Giants coming in. Floppy hat on Saturday. How about the Verlander Super Cape?
It fits.
Would you wear one if we brought one up for you?
I might. I might.
Here we go in the bottom of the fifth. It'll be the top of the lineup. Andy Dirks leading it off, and he bounces one to the shortstop, Escobar. One pitch, one out.
Well, they told us that Stewart had a pretty good sinker ball coming into play tonight, and he has worked at the bottom of the strike zone because he's gotten quite a few of these Tigers to pound that ball right back into the grass.
Now Don Kelly.
They felt like Stewart his last time out against the Atlanta Braves and was paying way too much attention to their strengths instead of pitching to his strength, which is sinkers and sliders. Gave up 10 hits in just over 3 innings against Atlanta. He has fared much better here tonight.
Wave and a miss. 1-2 on Don. Got him, strike 3. Kelly is punched out of there by Marquez.
Hey fans, when the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live as we bring you all the highlights, reaction, and analysis. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit.
Here's Bosch, infield hit, and a run scored his last time up. Meanwhile, Zach Stewart weaving in and out of this Tigers lineup. He gave up 1 in the second, 1 in the third. He has allowed 7 hits, but no major damage. There's a drive down the right field line. That ball is up against the wall. Bosch going to second base, in with a double. Second hit tonight for Brennan. And his terrific month of June just continues.
Brendan got an off-speed pitch at 82 miles an hour. It was a changeup. It was down, but he was able to reach out with those long arms and that long bat and hit a seed off of the gate in right field. And Bautista could really throw, which meant Brennan had to get on his horse to get his 19th double.
So the middle of the Tigers lineup tonight, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters are now 6 for 7.
In this situation last year, there would be no doubt John Farrell would walk Cabrera here. 2 outs, a base open. The damage that he has done this year with runners in scoring position, he's hitting over 400. But that's where number 41 comes into play, Victor Martinez.
Yeah, this really is one of those situations screaming for an intentional walk if it wasn't for Victor. And Victor tonight has 2 hits and both Tigers RBIs. Ground ball left side. That's gobbled up there by Nix. And that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 out double is stranded. 5 in the books. 2-2. 2 runs, 3 hits as we make up this game that was rained out in mid-May. The Tigers and Jays for just 1 here. The pit stop for Toronto before they go back home. And Max Scherzer has struck out 7 through 5 innings in this game. Yunel Escobar leads it off, top of the lineup for Toronto. And he looks at strike 1.
He has thrown a lot of first pitch strikes today. That's one of the reasons why he's only given up 3 hits in this game. He has been ahead of just about every Blue Jays hitter.
Good pitch right at the knees, and the count is 0-2.
He has thrown 68 pitches in this game, 51 strikes, 51 of 68.
And the 0-2. Grounded foul.
It's a dangerous pitch there. No balls, 2 strikes. To throw a changeup there. Dangerous pitch there.
Well, along with the 7 strikeouts, he's had the Blue Jays hitting the ball on the ground 6 via the ground out. And again, the 0-2. Max faced the Blue Jays in back-to-back starts earlier this year. It was back in May, 1 in Toronto, 1 in Detroit, and he won them both. Avila blocks it.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying about Max and his skill set going up against this Blue Jays lineup that have so many right-handed hitters that are pull happy.
Again, the 1-2. Driven to center field. Dirks on the run. Won't get there. Base hit. Leadoff man is on. We go back to the studio now. Time for a game break. And Ryan Field. All right, Ryan, thank you. Here it is 2-2 as we play in the 6th, and the Blue Jays have just picked up their 4th hit of the game.
Kelly anticipating that Thames will be up there sacrificing with nobody out and a runner on first base, but he has no sacrifice bunts this year, and the Blue Jays do not sacrifice all that much as a team.
No sign of it there. 1 strike on Thames. Double strikeout of the game and a run scored.
Blue Jays have 16 sacrifice bunts. Just 16 of them. Tigers have 28.
Low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Scherzer gave up a double, threw a wild pitch and a ground ball to give up a run in the 4th, and then in the same inning Lind hit a home run that tied the game at 2. It was looking like the Tigers offense was going to roll early. They got 1 in the 2nd inning on an RBI double by Martinez. Another run in the 3rd to go up 2-0.
Yunel Escobar standing there talking to Cabrera is their leadoff hitter, but he only has 3 steals this year. He's been caught once, so he doesn't run that often.
Ball away, 2-1. .75 now for Max. Really consistent. Fouled back. 2-2. Thames last year had a monster year at Double-A. 27 homers, knocked in 104.
Check out them sideburns.
Pretty sweet.
Old school.
Gary Maddox used to wear him that way.
George Foster. Artist Gilmore.
Well, now you're switching sports on me.
Yep, I sure did.
Swing and a miss. Big rip there. Thames is out of there. 8 strikeouts for Scherzer. His season high is 9.
Max has had the best off-speed pitch and changeup that we've seen in a while. That fading changeup away from the left-handed batter. You can see the circle change grip. And he just pulls it down, and the ball just fades ever so slightly down and away from the lefties.
Now Bautista. Ground ball fair inside the bag at third. Down the line it goes. Bosch trying to play the Karen. They're going to hold the runner at third. It's a 2-base hit for Jose Bautista.
We talked about Bautista and the fact that he has started to heat up again now that his timing with that leg kick is back under control. You have to get it up, and then you have to get it down before you start your swing, which he does. And then the hips clear out of the way, and when he clears his hips out of the way like he does here, his bat is lightning quick. And he's got tremendous bat speed.
And now 5 hits for Toronto. They have runners at second and third as Bautista has picked up his 12th double.
Well, I mean, they might want to walk him. I mean, they got the base open and put him on and then go after Hill, the on-deck hitter.
That's exactly what Jim Leyland will do here. Lynn homered in his last at bat. They want no part of him here with first base open. And they'll take their chances with Aaron Hill waiting on deck.
This is what Lynn did in the fourth. 95-mile-per-hour fastball inside against Lind, and Scherzer didn't get it in far enough.
Perry and Schlereth warming up in the bullpen.
College teammates. Talked about the fact that Aaron Hill, who a couple of years ago won a Silver Slugger Award at the second base position and did an outstanding job, but the last couple of years he has just been way too pull happy. I mean, to the tune of just 3 hits in that direction. And when you do not utilize the entire baseball field, you're not going to have a very good batting average, and his batting average is at 249 right now.
So the intentional walk to Lynn, and for those wondering why they don't just send the runner to first base on an intentional walk, you see what happened last night with the Marlins?
I did see that.
A wild pitch on an intentional walk and the winning run scored.
I sure did see that.
Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, that's why they make you throw it.
Scherzer should be thinking about getting a ground ball here, not so much about a strikeout.
There's your ground ball. He's going to come home for one. Relay, double play. How did you call that one? Right on cue, and the double play ends the threat and ends the inning.
sixth inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. We don't have to take you back very far. The ball cued off of the bat of Aaron Hill. Cabrera alertly gets it to Avila. Avila takes very little time getting the ball back on its way to the big fella, and they get the 3-2-3 double play. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Beautifully done. Tigers turning 2 right when they needed it the most. So walking Adam Lind proved to be a very good strategy. Still a 2-2 game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and back to the hill goes Zach Stewart, the 24-year-old out of Wichita Falls, Texas. He's going to deal with Martinez, Ordonez, and then Peralta. Big night for Victor. RBI double and an RBI single. And he slaps one foul back out of play. 0-1.
When you have as many 300 hitters as the Tigers have in their lineup tonight, it's tough for any starting pitcher to get through this lineup 4 different times. Somebody is bound to get you. Martinez has already gotten him twice here today. He's 2 for 2, and he's driven in both Tiger runs. But you got Bosch, you got Cabby, you have Avila, you have Peralta.
The 0-1. One ball and one strike. Bosch came in at 299, but he's over 300 with a single and a double in this game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul. 1-2 on Victor Martinez. Tigers tonight have 8 hits and 5 for Toronto. Pretty close, almost hit him. 2-2. Stewart originally was a 3rd-round pick of the Cincinnati Reds just a few years back in 2008, and then the Scott Rowland deal brought him from the Reds to Toronto.
He was their top pitching prospect when Toronto was able to get him in that deal.
I mentioned his numbers at AA this year were just kind of average. ERA was hovering just under 5. There's a ground ball back up the middle. This time they're going to get him as Escobar crossed the bag to make the play.
Hey fans, this Friday at 7:05, the Tigers open a 3-game series against the world champion San Francisco Giants. The first 7,500 fans age 21 and older receive a Tigers soft-sided 6-pack cooler. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
Here comes Ordonez. Ball 1 to Maglio.
You sticking around for the fireworks tonight?
Always do.
Do you?
It's a good show. Best show in the big leagues.
Well, it's a spectacular show.
Oh, you're talking about the one downtown.
Yeah,
right.
the one downtown.
I don't know about that. There's a ball. 2-0. Used to go to him every now and then as a kid. I mean, it really is a spectacular show. It's about a 1-hour show.
Wow.
So, I mean, it goes on and on. It's really good. The 2-0. How about you?
First couple of years I was here, and I was in the downtown area. I participated, but not lately.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. 3-1 on Ordonez. Peralta to follow. Now 3-2. Both the Tigers hosting the Mets the next 3 days. Porcello, Koch, and Verlander will be on the hill in that series. Then Frisco comes to town, the defending world champs. It's kind of odd the Tigers had to go to the West Coast. They come back for a homestand, and then they're right back out to the West Coast to take on the Angels.
Yep.
I don't see that very often.
And then several Tigers players will have to get right back on a plane a week later and go right back out there for the All-Star game.
Bouncing ball back up the middle into center field. First hit of the night for Maglio. It's a single. Yeah, the All-Star game in Phoenix this year, so that's going to be a whole lot of travel.
Travel from the West Coast to Kansas City for 3 days and get right back on the Big Bird, head right back out west for Verlander and Avila and hopefully Peralta and a few other guys.
Here's Johnny. He singled in the second. Saw a sign in the crowd that said, "Jahani is my Jahomie."
I saw that,
which I thought was pretty good. Peralta has that odd spelling of his first name, Jhonny. Tigers now have 9 hits. They have the go-ahead runner aboard. They had a 2-0 lead, but the Jays put up 2 in the 4th. Inside and high, 2-0. There it is.
Johnny is my homie.
Now that is creative. Here goes Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, out now.
Well, Bruce Walton wants to make sure that the youngster follows the lead of his catcher Molina here. He does not want any mistakes. Peralta has done a lot of damage already this year. He has 12 homers, and he's sitting in a really good fastball count right now.
Perez warming up in the bullpen, the lefty for the Toronto Blue Jays. Two 2-0 on Peralta. Single and a strikeout tonight for Peralta. Strike on the outer edge.
Borderline strike. Johnny did well by not swinging at this pitch. You don't want to swing at this. And that's why. It's off the plate.
Again out there for strike 2. Only 3 strikeouts tonight for Stewart. This will be his 100th pitch of the night. And it's rolled toward third, deep behind the bag. Nix to second one. No relay. Hill could not get rid of it. The runner Ordonez bearing down on it.
Looked like Nix really wasn't into turning this, so either he couldn't get it into his hand and get a good grasp on it or what, but he really made no attempt in throwing that ball back across the diamond.
Also looked like he didn't have solid footing either, and instead of throwing it away decided to hold on to it, but that looked like a double play from the get-go. Ball 1-2 Alex.
He bobbled it a little bit. Yep,
there it is.
That cost him.
He'd have thrown a knuckleball if he let that thing go. So Avila will try and make him pay. Alex is 1 for 2. 1-1 on Alex Avila. Limited schedule tonight in the big leagues. Cleveland is playing, though. They are in Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. And the 2-1. Strike called on the outer edge. 2-2. Four pitches now for Zach Stewart.
Probably his last inning. Very young starting pitcher. And they're going to watch him closely.
Swing and a miss. Avila is out of there on strikes, and the inning is over. 4 strikeouts for Zach Stewart, and we go to the 7th. Baseball All-Star Game history have been narrowed down to the final 4, and they're going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote for your favorite. And then also tune in to the 2011 All-Star Game on Fox Tuesday, July the 12th to find out the winner. It is the 7th inning here at Comerica Park in this makeup game between the Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. 2-2 is our score.
Patterson will bunt. He will bunt for a base hit on occasion.
Patterson, Molina, and Nix. And here's a drag bunt first base side. Cabrera bobbled it. And it looked like Rayburn was going to get there in time to record the out, but Cabby couldn't field it cleanly. So the leadoff man is aboard. That'll go as an infield hit.
They're going to give him a hit. He might have had a play here if he fields it cleanly. I don't know if he gets it to Rayburn or Scherzer, but he has good speed. But I don't know.
Would have been close.
For sure.
As it goes, it's now the 6th hit for the Blue Jays. That'll bring a Molina.
Well, he'll be running too. He won't stay there very long.
12 stolen bases for Patterson in 18 attempts. Molina has had a tough night against Scherzer. A couple of strikeouts. See if he's up there thinking bunt. He is, and he lays one down. Scherzer comes off to make the play. Rayburn covering and the sacrifice.
That is something that John Farrell does not do very often. Does not sacrifice bunt very often. Only the 17th sacrifice bunt for his club this year. And then you add in the speed that Patterson had, who was standing on first base. I guess he felt like he couldn't steal the base.
Here's Nix. Oh for 2, ground out, as well as a strikeout. Nix now is 2 for his last 31. So Scherzer right now will have a couple of guys here at the bottom of the lineup, the 8 and 9 guys, who are both struggling offensively mightily. And the 1-0. 2-0 on Jason Nix. Brother Lance also played in the big leagues. Meanwhile, Rick Knapp on the telephone. The Tiger bullpen will start to stir.
That's what happens when you start looking for a breaking ball, which Nix was looking for there. He got himself a fastball that was right down the middle, and he took it.
Make it 2-2 now on Nix.
Now you're getting the slider he's looking for. That's one of the things that I used to do myself. Sometimes as a hitter, you go up there looking for something you can't hit. In this case, Nix looking for a couple of breaking balls, and he got 2 fastballs with a runner in scoring position and didn't take the bat off his shoulder.
Perry and Schlereth, the righty-lefty combo, warming up.
I think Avila wanted another fastball right there, and Scherzer doesn't want to throw a fastball. He wants to throw a breaking ball. We'll see who wins. Who do you think is going to win?
Ultimately, I think the pitcher usually wins because he's the one in control. Leadoff infield hit by Patterson. He was sacrificed to second. And the 2-2. Down there to block it is Avila as he slides over on his shin guards. 3-2.
Scherzer won. You're right.
Rajay Davis waiting on deck.
No need for Max to throw a fastball here. Doesn't have to. He can throw that breaking ball. It doesn't necessarily have to be a strike, and he still might get Nix to swing right over the top of it if he locates it well.
Popped him up. Kelly, does he have room? He does not. Look out below. How you doing down there, Barry?
Barry got some sun over the weekend.
Yes, he did. Hanging out at the beach, maybe.
I guess he had the camera on autopilot because he was getting out of the way.
Think ping-ponging in there all over the place. Three and two. And he got him. Strike 3. A fastball that time from Scherzer, and he caught the outer edge. 9 strikeouts for Max. Good pitch.
Yes, it was.
That equals a season high in the strikeout category for Scherzer. He struck out 9 Yankees back in early May. His career high remains 14. Now with 2 outs, Rajai Davis. He is showing bunt. Davis 2 for his last 22. Rajai's been in a couple of really bad stretches. Earlier this month he was 0 for 23. Former Oakland Athletic. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What is he doing with 2 outs?
I was just about to ask you the same question.
That did not look like he was bunting for a base hit.
No, it looked like a sacrifice. I assume he knows how many outs there are.
I mean, this looks like a sacrifice bunt.
Boy, doesn't it? 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped him up. Kelly appears to have room for this one. He's drifting. And he makes the catch. Hitting over. No runs, a hit. And they leave 1. Stretch time.
Sports Detroit is the Dan Patrick Show. Don't miss 3 hours of exclusive guest breaking sports news, insider access, and pop culture commentary. The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays at 9 to noon on Fox Sports Detroit.
Well, we have a wall side windows pitching change. Mr. Jason Frazier will take over now for Toronto.
34th game now that Jason has been in, and he comes in with good numbers. A 2-1 record. The earned run average is just a shade over 2.5. Lots of strikeouts. Opponent's batting average very low. He's done nice work for John Farrell.
Two 9-0 for Detroit, 2-6-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Ryan Rayburn leads it off. Rayburn, Dirks, and Kelly. Tigers have not scored since getting a run in the 3rd tonight. Rayburn is 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Driven to left center field. It'll get down. Base hit. Rayburn leads it off with a single. That'll be the 10th Detroit hit in this game. It'll bring up Andy Dirks.
It's a bunting situation, obviously, for the Tigers, but Jim, sometimes when he thinks the other manager is looking for the bunt, he'll allow that hitter to take one swing. And if for whatever reason Dirks does come up empty on the one swing that he gives him, then he'll put the sacrifice bunt on. But we'll see.
Dirks had a walk back in the third, 0 for 2.
Good to see Rayburn get that base hit.
Ryan's first hit of the night. He had dipped below 200 entering tonight's game. He shows bunt. 1 ball to no strikes. Dirks a long look down at Gene Lamont in the box at third. Trying to get Rayburn up to second base. 2-2 game in the 7th. And now Lamont is calling Dirks down the line at third. Gino do this every now and then, which tends to make you believe he might be swinging.
They play games.
Nope, he's going to bunt it and lay it down to the right side. Hill, quick throw. Got it.
That is a really good play by Aaron.
He's safe. He put him off the bag. Yeah. Here comes John Farrell.
What took so long for the call?
I don't know. It's as if he took 4 or 5 extra seconds to indicate.
He doesn't even know what he called.
Oh, now they're calling him out.
He didn't even see it. What in the world? He had to get help from Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire. And now he's going to explain it to Jim. He was way out.
What didn't he see?
I don't know.
He wasn't screened.
I have no idea.
He's right there.
Guess he had a Jim Joyce moment.
Oh, man, Jim Leland's fired up about this, too. He's thinking, how can the guy who's 5 feet away from the play call him safe and then have it reverse?
Well, once Jim goes in and looks at it, he'll realize that the right call is made.
I think he probably realizes he was out, but he's fired up about the fact that he was originally called safe and they overruled it. Because he clearly was out.
Don't give yourself an ulcer over that, Jim.
He's halfway there. Yep, see, that's exactly what he's talking about. Your guy right there, 5 feet away, called him safe. This is as animated as I've seen the skipper, and there he goes. He's not done yet.
Well, he showed enough. That's why he ran.
I have never seen Leland like this. Recreating the play and everything.
That's Ed Rapuano, first base umpire.
So the sacrifice by Dirks will advance the runner. And Jim Leland continues to argue. Clearly out. But no indication was given.
Well, when he made these hand gestures. That's when he got ran.
That is the best show he has put on since he's been here. And he's still going at it. Looked like Leland was playing a game of charades. Ed Waparano is the first base umpire, and he's the one that made that call. He got some help from Marquez. And Leland's getting a standing O for this as he finally leaves Waparano.
He got something from Mr. Marquez, too?
Yes, he does. Oh, man, this is some kind of show tonight. Who needs the fireworks? Leland going off. And he's still going at it. Jim just doesn't want to leave. So again, it goes as a sacrifice. Ultimately, the right call was made in the situation. I guess that's the most important thing. So Rayburn is at second with one out. And now Kelly will try and drive him in. Kelly is the only Tiger that has not reached base tonight. And he rolls one foul, 0-1. Kelly hit into a double play back in the third, a fly ball and a strikeout his other two times. And the 0-1. Ball outside, one ball and one strike. Skipper got really animated there, so if you may have heard some of the language that he used on the field, we do apologize for that. Happens in the heat of the battle. And that one just missed. 2-1. Thought the fireworks were supposed to start at 10 o'clock tonight.
That's what I thought, too.
Rayburn led it off with a single. He's at second with one out. Way high. 3-1. Well, that got the crowd fired up. There is action. Mark Zepchinski warming up.
Blue Jays have some decent arms in their outfield. Their right fielder, Jose Bautista, has 8 outfield assists. If Kelly hits one in that direction, and Gene Lamont will have to think twice as to whether he's going to send Rayburn home or not.
Bosch on deck. Way outside, and that is a walk. Put two aboard, and now you've got the meat of the Tigers lineup coming up. Bosch has a couple of hits in this game, a double, a single. He has scored a run. Brendan now has scored 53 times this year, 6th best in the American League, so he really has been the recipient of the guys hitting behind him. Cabrera, Martinez driving in runs, Peralta. He hit it a ton. It was swirling out there in center field, and Bosch has nothing to show for it.
We know that Comerica Park is an unforgiving park, and with the speed that Davis has, he's able to run it down. Rayburn initially went halfway, then he thought about trying to get back to tag to get to third, but didn't get back in time to do so. And as a rule of thumb, with nobody out, you want to tag up, and it's not all that important if there's one out. You have to make sure you score if the ball lands in the outfield.
So Cabrera coming up. And Bruce Walton going out to have a chat with Frazier. Runners remain at first and second, and Miguel Cabrera will have an opportunity with 2 outs.
You saw Cabby's numbers 7th inning or later. He got the big hit in yesterday's game with the bases loaded. He singled into the outfield, which put the Tigers ahead in the 8th.
That'll go foul down the left field line. 0-1 on Cabrera. The Tigers have 10 hits in this game tonight. They could use a big one right here. On a line knocked down by Hill. He has time though, and Cabrera is out. That'll end the inning. So the Tigers threaten but do not score. Fireworks happening early at the ballpark tonight. Jim Leland getting tossed. Not before he put on a show. It is a 2-2 ball game tonight as we go to the top of the 8th inning here in this makeup game between the Tigers and the Blue Jays.
Scherzer dealt tonight. As a matter of fact, he has turned in some of his better work this year against the Blue Jays hitters. He had 9 strikeouts in the game. He was really commanding his fastball well on the outer edges early in this game. Also changing some eye levels by going up in the strike zone. Then he started throwing the changeup and the breaking ball to get some out. So Max pitched well enough to win here tonight, but not going to factor in the decision.
Joaquin Benoit will take over now for the Detroit Tigers, and he'll face Yunel Escobar, the top of the lineup, coming up for Toronto.
Yeah, Joaquin pitching in his 33rd game with 1 win, 3 losses. The earned run average is under 5 now, and he continues to pitch better. In the last 15 games he's been in, the earned run average is 1.32. So he has straightened out some things.
Jim Leland mentioning before the game today that someone asked him, is he looking more like the guy that you saw last year? And he said, well, I didn't expect that guy. I mean, that was just one of those magical years. But Joaquin, after a couple of rough patches, has seemingly straightened that out. And his job now is to keep it a 2-2 game as we play here in the 8th. Strike called on Escobar. Thames and then Bautista. 2 runs on 10 Detroit hits, 2 runs on 6 hits for the Jays. Make it 2 balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. Single and 3 at bats tonight. Eric Thames waiting on deck. Way outside, 3-2. Mets coming to town next. And then San Francisco for the rest of this homestand as we march toward the All-Star break in the month of July. On the ground to second base on a hop for Rayburn. Escobar retired, 1 away. They bring up Eric Thames. Thames a double and a run scored in the 4th. The Tigers raced out to an early 2-0 lead. The Jays tied it up though in the 4th inning. Thames was part of that. And he looks at strike 1. Tiger bullpen ERA is 4.46. The starters have an ERA of under 4. Tipped it into the glove for strike 2. Benoit needs 31 more appearances to reach 400 for his career. And he got him, strike 3. Thames is punched out.
When Joaquin is spotting his fastball the way that he spotted this last one, that's the Joaquin of last year. 4-seam fastball right over the top, located beautifully.
Tigers pitching tonight now has 10 strikeouts, 9 for the starter Scherzer, which matched a season high. Now the dangerous Jose Bautista. Big swing, 0-1.
Good pitch. Bautista has not been seeing many fastballs these days. And if he does get a fastball, it's out of the strike zone. Good slider there by Benoit. Bautista, one of those guys that stands right on top of the plate. Dead pull hitter with a lot of power. As a matter of fact, his hands are resting right over the plate.
One and two.
He's trying to hit a home run with this particular pitch, and it's an unhittable pitch. He doesn't get cheated.
Well, Benoit has him set up 1-2. Bautista a double in this game. And it's pulled on the ground right by a diving Don Kelly. Bautista taking a wide turn. He thought about going.
That's the one thing about Bautista, and I pointed out the fact that he stands right on top of the plate. This ball is on the outer edges of home plate because he's right on top of the dish. We're going to see if we can freeze it on contact. That ball is away from him. Most guys hit that ball the opposite way. He hit a bullet right past Don Kelly.
Seven hits on the night for Toronto. That'll bring up Adam Lind, their cleanup hitter. And he looks at strike one.
If you're Bautista, if you're Joaquin Benoit here, you can't allow Adam Lind to beat you.
Lind homered back in the fourth, a solo shot off Scherzer. Oh, 0-2. Ground ball to second. Rayburn will go to first, ending the inning. No runs, a hit, one left. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Tigers and Jays tied up at 2 as we play in the bottom of the eighth. Tigers 3 through 5 hitters have been awfully productive tonight. Scherzer went 7, gave up 2 earned runs and fanned 9, and Lind with a solo home run in the 4th inning, and that was a big home run because it tied it, and we have been tied since. New pitcher on now for Toronto. That would be Mark Zepchinski.
Zepchinski has gotten quite a bit of work this year out of that bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays, pitching in his 36th game. 28 strikeouts and 31 1/3 against 12 walks. In the league, hitting just .221 against Mark.
So Zepchinski will have to try and navigate through Martinez, Ordonez, and Peralta. Chopper hit back up the middle. Hill on the charge. One pitch, one out. Zepchinski's 36th appearance here tonight leads the ball club. He's also 5th in the American League, so he's been used quite a bit. Out of Yorba Linda, California. Ordonez tonight 1 for 3. Maglio a single for 3. The single coming in the 6th. Makes him 4 out of 13 on the homestand now for the Tigers. Batting in the 6th spot tonight for Jim Leyland. Here's the 1-0. Pulled on the ground and through, base hit. Maglio has his 2nd hit. So if you want a pinch run for him here, Ordonez becomes the go-ahead run. And here comes Austin Jackson, so he's going to hit for Maglio. Eleven Tigers hits in this game now. So Zepchinski will depart the scene. Pitching change here in the 8th. We'll be back.
In Phoenix, help send your favorite Tigers by voting up to 25 times at Tigers.com. So vote early and often. Cast your all-star ballot now at Tigers.com.
New pitcher on for the Blue Jays is right-hander Sean Camp. And he'll be on to take on Peralta here. Tigers getting the 1-out single from Maglio Ordonez. Austin Jackson coming out a pinch run for him at first base. There's Austin. Maglio tonight 2 hits. Peralta meanwhile is 1 for 3. And a .308 batting average for the year.
Jackson's got a big lead over at first.
Big swing, 0-1.
Johnny has had very little success against Camp in his career. Not a bad time to start. Moving those numbers up.
Big swing, 0-2. Runner going. Here's the throw. He is safe at second base. Ooh, was it close?
What a late slide by Austin. Oh, my goodness.
Bonita threw a BB down there at second. Jackson beat it out. And he looks like he scuffed up a bit.
I didn't think Jackson would run. Man, that was a slow breaking ball, but a very accurate throw by Molina. But that hard slide by Jackson, he just slid too late. And the reason why I was not quite sure whether they would send Jackson or not, because if Johnny Peralta makes an out, they'll walk Avila, so he won't hit. But with Jackson standing at first base, I don't know if Farrell would have walked Avila.
And the 1-2. Driven to right field. Sinking. That ball is going to get by the right fielder Bautista. Johnny Peralta might be able to score on this. He's coming to third. Nope, they're going to stop him. A sliding attempt by Bautista. And the Tigers have taken the lead.
Bautista lost that ball in the lights, looks like. Tigers will take it. It's our bell tire pitch by pitch. Johnny Peralta with no success whatsoever against Camp, but he gets a ball with 2 strikes that stays up, and it looks like right there got caught in the lights by Bautista, and Peralta was off and running and ended up with a triple.
And now Avila will be walked. Rajay Davis on a dead sprint ran that ball down.
Avila wasn't going to hit in this inning no matter what.
3-2 ball game. The Tigers have their 12th hit of the game.
Well, Tigers did their damage yesterday in the 8th inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're at it again here tonight. Let's take one more look at the right fielder, Bautista, who looked like he had a pretty good beat on this ball, and all of a sudden at the last moment does not make the play.
So after the intentional walk, still only 1 out. Ryan Rayburn coming up. Runs on 12 Tigers hits, 2 runs on 7 Blue Jays hits. Peralta's triple has given Detroit the lead. Infield in for Toronto. sails outside 1-0.
Jim has been kicked out of this game, which means Lloyd McClendon is managing the club from the dugout. He and Gene Lamont kind of share the duties. But because Lamont has to go out to the third base box, Lloyd is taking care of the dugout. And apparently he is taking a long look at what's going on that scorecard. And apparently the Toronto Blue Jays feel like this might be a squeeze situation for the Detroit Tigers.
Back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rayburn.
Rayburn would love to have that one back. A little hanging breaking ball from Kent. Looked like Rayburn was trying to hit the ball to right field, which is not all bad when you have a runner on third, less than 2 outs. You want to hit a fly ball deep enough to the right fielder to score that run, which means you're staying on the baseball, not trying to do too much.
Now 1-2. Andy Dirks on deck. Tigers would like to get an insurance run. They have Jose Valverde warming up in the bullpen. And Papa Grande just watching the action. He was actually up when Benoit was throwing in the top of this inning. He held off, and the count evens 2-2 on Ryan Rayburn. Single by Maglio. Jackson comes on a pinch run. He steals second, scores on the triple by Peralta. And the 2-2, a ground ball. They're going to try and turn 2. There's 1 and safe at first base. Score the run, make it 4-2.
It would have been an awkward turn with the infield in. Escobar backhands the ball. He gets it to Hill, but Hill was trying to find the bag because he wasn't thinking that they were going to try to go 6-4-3 double play. And the Tigers dugout loved the fact that Rayburn was safe.
That gives the Tigers an insurance run. That means Camp is out of the game. Another pitching change. 4-2. We'll be coming back. Bottom of the 8th inning, they lead 4-2, and back to the bullpen go the Blue Jays. It's Luis Perez.
Only the 15th game that Perez has been in. He's won 1 and he has not lost the game. He has a respectable earned run average. You look at that bottom note, and and what he's done against left-handers. Sub 200 batting average against Perez for left-handed bats. And Andy Dirks will be the first left-handed bat he sees.
So the Tigers get a couple of clutch knocks in this inning. The single by Ordonez started it. The triple by Peralta. Ground ball by Rayburn scores a run. They almost turned 2 on that ground ball, but it is a 4-2 ball game now. And Dirks comes on to face Luis Perez, who hails from the Dominican Republic. First shot at pitching in the big leagues this year. And here is Dirks. When we get to the 9th inning, Hill, Patterson, and Molina due up for the Blue Jays.
I believe Don Wakamatsu, who is the bench coach for John Farrell, former catcher in the major leagues, former manager, handles the running game for the first-year manager, Mr. Farrell.
One ball, no strikes.
So usually when you see the pitcher throwing over to first base, it's because a sign has been relayed by the bench coach to the catcher.
Check swing, strike called, 1-1. Andy Dirks tonight is 0 for 2. He has a sacrifice and a walk. He was part of that play that eventually got Jim Leland ejected from this ball game back in the 7th inning on the sac bunt.
Major snappage by the skipper.
As big as we have seen.
It was hilarious, too.
Ground ball right side. And Hill will throw him out. That'll end the inning, but a good inning for the Tigers. They get a couple of runs. Papa Grande getting set to check into this one. Hopefully that'll be the case. He's got some making up to do, though, in the voting. But right now, the important numbers are 4-2 in favor of Detroit as we go to the 9th inning. Last call for the Jays. And a plethora of changes now for the Tigers. Dirks will move to left field in place of Bosch. Jackson stays in the game at center field, and Don Kelly will go from third to right. Brandon Inge will take over at third base, and Santiago is now playing second base. And your new pitcher is Jose Valverde.
He has not blown a save this year. He is converted 17 of 17.
His job here in the ninth is to get Hill, Patterson, and Molina. Those are the scheduled batters, at least. Aaron Hill is 1 for 3, has a single tonight. Tigers have out-hit the Blue Jays 12-7 as we go to the ninth. First pitch up and in. 1-0 on Mr. Hill. Bouncing ball to short. Oh, right under the glove of Peralta.
Only his 4th error of the year. Wow. Did not get the glove down. That's why they tell you at home, kids, you work from the ground up. Johnny was anticipating that this ball was going to stay down. The glove never got down and went right underneath it. Pulled it up too soon.
Leadoff man is on. The first error of the ball game for the Tigers. That'll bring up Corey Patterson. 0 for 6 career against Valverde. 4 of those at bats resulting in a strikeout. Swing and a miss. 94 from Papa Grande. Patterson's hit in the 7th inning was of the infield variety. Make it 0-2. Molina waiting on deck. Hill reaching on the air by the shortstop. Fly ball, foul ground. Cabrera circling under it, 1 out. Patterson is dispatched. We'll bring up Molina, who I would guess would be a pretty good double play candidate. And Jose Molina this year has hit into 0 double plays.
Yeah, but he's the double play candidate, though.
Jose would like to get a ground ball here and go home. 1 on, 1 out. Molina struck out twice against Max Scherzer. Runner goes. With no throw, there's a strike. He'll take second base. Double play out of order now. And the 0-1. Juan Rivera has moved to the on deck circle for Toronto. He brings some thunder off the bench. Just inside, 2 balls, 1 strike on Molina. Tigers jump to a 4-2 lead with 2 in the bottom of the 8th. But an error here by Peralta has opened the door a bit here for the Blue Jays. Tying run coming to the plate here. Two and one. Three and one on Molina. Scherzer started this one. He gave away to Benoit. And now Valverde here in the 9th. Max tonight struck out 9, which equaled a season high. And the 3-1. Popped up foul. Back out of play. 3-2 on Molina. The crowd trying to get into it. 25,000 plus tonight. 25,181 the attendance for this makeup game. And the 3-2. In the air, shallow center field. Jackson coming hard, stretching out, can't get it. It drops in. Molina is aboard at first base, and now the tying runs are aboard with 1 out.
Looked like Jackson got there. He had to run a long, long way, but it appeared that he got there, and I think Jackson a little upset with himself. He feels like he should have caught that ball. Right off the tip of the glove.
John McDonald coming off the pinch run. Rivera's going to pinch hit, not before. We'll get a visit to the mound. There's McDonald, the former Tiger. He represents the tying run. That is the 8th hit of the game for the Blue Jays. In a 4-2 contest, they have runners at first and third. And so Rivera comes off the bench to pinch hit.
Now he's grounded into a few double plays.
More than a few, 10, which is tied for the team lead.
Yeah, but they can't allow McDonald to take that base, though. If they allow him to steal second base, then it doesn't matter how many double plays Rivera's hit into this year. Keep him on first base.
Rivera this year is 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter. Tying run now at first with 1 out. And a bouncing ball back up the middle. Santiago has it. Flips to second. 1. There's your double play. And the Tigers hold on to win it 4-2. Something almost knocked Barbara Grande's hat off. Four, 6-3. And the Tigers win the makeup game and win their 43rd game of the year. There's the final. 4-2 in favor of the Tigers. Back with more from Comerica Park.